Some people will hurt you in ways that are so subtle you won't even realize it's happening until the damage is done. They don't scream, they don't throw things, they don't make obvious threats. Instead, they operate through specific behavioral patterns that slowly erode your reality, your confidence, and your sense of self. But these patterns aren't random. They come from 5 specific types of people, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to recognize them before the damage goes too deep. Before we start, like the video and subscribe to LifeBased for more insights about the patterns shaping your life and relationships. Let's get into it. Number 1. Narcissists. The world revolves around them. Everything is about their needs, their feelings, their perspective. Everyone else exists to serve that. And what makes this behavioral pattern so harmful is how good they are at hiding it. At first, they seem charming, confident, successful. They know exactly what to say to pull you in. But once you're invested, the mask starts slipping. Control and manipulation are how narcissists operate. They need constant admiration, so they surround themselves with people who provide it. And the moment you stop worshiping them, the moment you have needs of your own or dare to criticize them, they punish you. Through rage, through silent treatment, through making you feel like you're the problem. You exist to make them feel good about themselves, and when you stop serving that purpose, you're either discarded or devalued until you fall back in line. Watch how they talk about others. Everyone who's ever left their life is the villain in their story. Every ex is crazy, every former friend betrayed them. They're always the victim of other people's cruelty, but accountability for their own behavior never enters the picture. You'll also notice how they respond when good things happen to you. If you accomplish something, they'll downplay it or find a way to make it about themselves. If you're happy, they'll find something to criticize, because narcissists can't handle anyone else being the center of attention. Number 2, gaslighters. Your reality becomes their weapon. They tell you things didn't happen the way you remember, that you're being too sensitive, that you're imagining things, that conversation you clearly recall never occurred, that promise they definitely made was never actually made. And they say it with such conviction that you start doubting your own memory, your own perception, your own sanity. What makes gaslighting so psychologically damaging is that it destroys your ability to trust yourself. And once you can't trust yourself, you become completely dependent on their version of reality, which is exactly what they want. Because if you can't trust your own memory or judgment, you can't challenge them. You can't hold them accountable. You can't even be sure if you have a right to be upset about something. Small denials at first, but over time, the denials get bigger and your confidence gets smaller until you're constantly second-guessing yourself. Did that really happen? Am I remembering this correctly? Am I being too sensitive? And that's the goal, not just to avoid responsibility for one specific thing, but to make you so unsure of your own perception that you stop challenging them entirely. Living with a gaslighter means living in constant confusion. You start keeping records, screenshots of conversations, notes about what was said, because you need proof that your memory is correct. But even with proof, they'll find a way to twist it. And the explanation is always so elaborate, so confident, that you end up apologizing for bringing it up. That's when they win. Number 3. Emotional manipulators. Your emotions become tools they use against you. They know exactly what to say to make you feel guilty, to make you doubt yourself, to make you question whether you're being reasonable. Logic doesn't enter their arguments. Everything is about emotion, and they're so skilled at weaponizing your feelings that you end up apologizing for things that aren't your fault and feeling guilty for having completely reasonable boundaries. Guilt tripping is their primary tactic. If you set a boundary, you're hurting them. If you have needs, you're being selfish. If you call out their behavior, you're attacking them. You say one thing, they hear something completely different, and suddenly you're defending yourself against an argument you never made. They play on your empathy, framing everything in a way that makes you seem cruel if you don't comply. The exhaustion sets in gradually. You stop bringing things up because you know they'll twist it. You stop having needs because expressing them leads to being called selfish. You stop defending yourself because it always ends with you apologizing. And that's when they have complete control, through making you believe that your feelings, your needs, your boundaries are all forms of cruelty toward them. Number 4, pathological liars. Compulsive lying isn't about avoiding consequences for them. It's a way of life. They lie about small things, big things, things that don't matter, and things that do. And what makes this behavior so damaging is how convincing they are. They look you in the eye, they add details, they seem genuine, and by the time you realize they've been lying, you've built your reality on false information. They lie to create a version of themselves that's more interesting, more successful, more victimized than reality. And they lie so frequently that they often start believing their own lies, which makes them even more convincing. Even when you catch them in a contradiction, they'll create another lie to explain the first lie, until you're so deep in the web you can't find the truth. The harm isn't just the individual lies, it's the foundation of distrust they create. Once you discover they've lied about one thing, you have to question everything. Every story they told, every explanation they gave, every promise they made. But pathological liars will swear they've changed, that this time is different. They'll cry, they'll apologize, they'll promise transparency, and you want to believe them because the alternative is accepting that the entire relationship was built on lies. So you give them another chance, and then you catch them in another lie, and another, because the lying isn't situational, it's who they are. Number 5, controllers. Dominating every aspect of your life is their goal. Who you see, what you do, how you spend your time, what you wear, what you think, it starts disguised as care. They just want to spend time with you. They just want you to be safe. But slowly, their input becomes demands, their suggestions become requirements, and their care becomes a cage you didn't see being built until you're already locked inside. Isolation and dependency are their tools. They slowly cut you off from friends and family through constant criticism or guilt trips when you spend time with them. Your friend is a bad influence. Your family doesn't understand you like they do. Eventually, it's easier to just stop seeing people than to deal with the conflict. They also control through finances, through monitoring your phone, through questioning your every move, and they frame it all as love. What makes this behavioral pattern so harmful is how they trap you. By the time you realize what's happened, you're isolated. Your support system is gone. Your independence is gone. You've become completely dependent on them. And that's when the control becomes absolute, because leaving means having nowhere to go, no one to turn to, no resources to rely on. Controllers don't want partners who have their own lives. They want possessions they can manage, and they'll systematically remove every option you have for independence until you're so trapped you can't imagine a way out. The isolation isn't accidental. The financial control isn't coincidental. It's all designed to ensure that leaving becomes seemingly impossible. Whether you're dealing with narcissists, gaslighters, manipulators, liars, or controllers, the pattern is the same. They slowly destroy your sense of self while making you believe you're the one at fault, not through obvious abuse, but through subtle behavioral patterns that erode your reality until you can't tell what's real anymore. And that's what makes these patterns so harmful to recognize and break free from. If you found this helpful, like the video and subscribe to LifeBased for more insights about the patterns shaping your life and relationships. Thanks for watching.